What's going on, everybody? The TheAireaidLord is here. And I don't know if you guys know this. I don't know if you know this. I wouldn't blame you if you didn't. A lot of people... I don't know how to start this vlog. It is my 10-year channel anniversary. On December 27th of 2010, I, for Christmas, received a JVC camcorder, and I put that thing on a tripod, and I aimed it at... Actually, the TV's over there. I'm looking at it right there. It's in the basement over here. I aimed it at my Toshiba TV, now that I just checked the model, and I recorded a gameplay tutorial for Assassin's Creed Brotherhood to get the Desmond Miles skin in Assassin's Creed Brotherhood. I knew at the time I wanted to film something that was video game related, but also something that I was somewhat decent at, and I had just acquired the skin for myself. Having played Assassin's Creed Brotherhood, the game was only a month old at the time, so I figured, why not make a tutorial for people and have this be my first video? Now, admittedly, my mom wasn't keen on letting me have a YouTube channel, so I got the camcorder for Christmas, and they kind of allowed me to make one. So 2 days after Christmas, that's when I made the YouTube channel. Okay, so that's how it started, and now 10 years later, here I am. Let me just check. I want to see for myself how many subscribers we're up to, on this date. So 10 years, on and off uploads. How many subscribers did we accumulate? I'd be curious to know. 12,000? See. I don't know how to get to, the stats and stuff. I'm seeing 12,000 right now. I guess that's just the general number we'll go with here. We'll do analytics. I never know. You've got... Blah, 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 blah. Yeah. Oh, 12,006 subscribers. That's the number we're up to. Okay. So in 10 years, I amassed an audience of 12,006 subscribers. Not bad comparatively. That came, obviously, over the years from a lot of different sources. I'd say it came from video game playthroughs, random video game tutorials, DSP's community, and then the Walking Dead reaction vlogs. I'd say those are the four sources. And yeah, man, sorry, I'm still trying to figure out a way to start this vlog. I'm not sure really what the first topic should be. Yes, we've established that I've accumulated 12,006 subscribers in 10 years. I have made over I don't know the exact number, but I've made over 5,000 videos in 10 years. And I guess that's another thing that we're just going to have to go back and check out, because why the frick not? Content. How do we see? I have a lot of playlists. I do know that. Dashboard. What was the dashboard say? Last videos. I don't know. I know it's somewhere over 5,000. The main reason is because you guys might be saying to yourself, how the hell is it over 5,000? It's over 5,000. That's over 9,000. So I used to record. So, all right, I guess I can continue the story from where I started. So I opened the YouTube channel 10 years ago. I do the tutorial for Assassin's Creed Brotherhood. And then I don't really I basically didn't know what I wanted to do with the YouTube channel. I did, I think, a tutorial for Halo Reach. I was just messing around, making videos and putting them online, editing them. The whole thing was brand new. And for a lot of content creators, it was really 2009, 2010. If you opened a YouTube channel in that period, that span, that's really where you amass your huge following. Now, there were people who attacked the model much more efficiently than I did. I would say I didn't really like understand like where people's attention was going to go for video games overall, because now this is a fun statistic. I opened my YouTube channel only 2 months after PewDiePie. PewDiePie opened his in October of 2010 and was uploading random Black Ops videos, and I opened it 2 months later, and we were around the same subscribers for a very brief period of time before he pretty much played Amnesia. And I think that game is the one that got him his popularity, and then he amassed his giant following beyond that. So that just goes to show you, like, he hit upon a trend, right? There were these trends that happened over the years, Fortnite being one that's recent, I guess. There was the Minecraft trend of, like, I mean, that was years ago. But yeah, Amnesia. There's always these niche games that appeal to a wide audience, and then your market expands because of that. And so the thing for me is, like, I was influenced obviously for the YouTube channel from the YouTuber that people still to this day ask me about, this guy. Like, if anyone looked at my videos, like, I don't upload that much these days. And if I do, it's usually about a random topic or something related to The Walking Dead. Like, I haven't done anything with Darkside Phil, that's the name of the YouTuber, because he still uploads videos regularly. I am aware that he uploads, like, as normally as he was back when I started watching his content. Now, he does Twitch live streaming, he takes donations. I mean, there's a lot of stuff that's changed with his content, but it's still his full-time job. It was his full-time job 10 years ago. It's his full-time job now. So that hasn't changed. But I was in high school when I was watching him, because right now I'm 26. 10 years ago I was 16, and I was a teenager, and the online world was a playground, right? And I had really, just from my own hobbies and circumstances at school, I basically, isolated myself for one reason or another. And high school was personally for me a rough period. Like, there was a lot of bullying, a lot of harassing that went on. Not to go into too much detail, but it wasn't a fun period. And the online world was an escape for that. It was a way to make friends, make something, basically have the secondary persona, right? I saw what Phil was doing, and I said, well, if he can have this secondary persona, because, like, who in his personal life was really, he lived by himself in that condo. Like, he didn't do too much with himself in, like, his, like, real life, like the IRL life. Like, he visited his parents, like, back when he lived in Connecticut. He saw, like, he was somewhat into the Street Fighter scene, but then he slowly phased out of it. And he just lived a very isolated, rudimentary life, but it was expanded because of the online world. And so I saw that and said, well, let me do some of the same, right? Like, I'm going to try to do my own, like, Phil channel. And when I opened the YouTube channel, that's basically what it was. It was playlists of, like, all the playthroughs were, it was just like he did it. Like, it was, like, if you go into the earliest footage of my YouTube channel, you'll see, I think the first playthrough I did was Fallout New Vegas, the first DLC, the Dead Money DLC. That was the first DLC, or not DLC, the first game, the really game of any kind that I played. And that set the stage for me. And then pretty consistently, like, I tried to keep up. Like, I tried to keep up with, like, how Phil was doing every single video game. So then I turned my channel into that. And I was like, okay, I'm going to play this game and this game and this game. Like, every release, I followed it and covered it and just attacked it. And that was what the channel was. And there were a couple problems with that, obviously, looking back. First of all, it was not a good use of the channel's time. The one positive is that I got exposed to a lot of different video games in 2011 and 2012. those 2 years were the years that I really went deep hardcore into this, playing all these games. Those years, and maybe a little bit in 2013, but it was mainly 2011 and 2012 where I was trying to play every new release that came out. Like, there were one or two I didn't touch, but for the most part, I was playing all the new releases because I would do, like, I think in 2012, I had like a Game of the Year awards. I had a funniest moment. Like, I would do year-end series, obviously a la Phil, who had his own established series that went along with that. And I was exposed to games I otherwise wouldn't have played. And I guess that's one big positive of the channel, because like video gaming's always been a hobby of mine. It's always been a fun medium. Like, I'm naturally a storyteller, and so, I enjoy, and back then I wasn't really into like watching TV shows, like start to finish binge watching the shows. Any show I was exposed to at the time was very like Avatar: The Last Airbender. Like, they were very like PG-13. Like, it wasn't the serious shows that I eventually got into. Walking Dead, Breaking Bad, like some of like the big television dramas that I eventually got into. That came kind of like when I took a break from the YouTube channel, but video gaming as a whole has always been a big has always been a hobby of mine. It always has been. And so I'm going to wipe my nose. Anyway, kind of doing this on the fly, but video game has always been a hobby of mine, and the more difficult things got for me, I guess, at school and making friends and just trying to have an established life outside of the online world, I think the more that pushed back, I kind of got complacent in doing the gameplay stuff a lot. Like, those thousands of videos, you can go back on the channel and see that whole history. You can see that whole history of the ridiculous amount of parts. And again, this was a different era of YouTube, though. Like, YouTube gaming was getting popular at this time, so it wasn't out of the ordinary for someone to have crappy camera quality pointed at their TV screen, doing, part 1, part 2, part 3 of a playthrough and just, repeatedly uploading parts. Like, that wasn't completely out of the norm to basically see someone doing that kind of stuff. And so no one knew like what the right model was. Like, quality was one thing. Like, eventually getting the Elgato game capture, which is how I eventually did direct capture at the end of 2012, like, that improved all of my footage. It did. Like, admittedly, it just did. It improved all of my footage. But I think as I was pouring myself into the channel, and again, like, there were other perks to the channel as well. Like, I've made money on this channel as well. And, not just pennies, but like back when I had like the big Machinima contract where they gave you $2 for every 1,000 views, like, it was crazy CPM rates. Like, I made a lot of decent money, and the Walking Dead vlogs that I eventually did, I'll get to that in a second, but those reaction videos, stacking the views on those really, like, it made it profitable. Like, and at the time I was in college, like when I was covering The Walking Dead, I say season 5, 6, and 7, I was in college, and so having the extra money was a big bonus. Like, it was to go out to the bars and hang out with friends, right? But this is when I was moving into more of a sociable life and a social life in general. And that 2014 to 2017, that's when my content changed. I wasn't playing every freaking video game playthrough. In fact, I think 2016, I think to this day, the last playthrough that I did start to finish was, I think, Uncharted 4. And that was in 2016, if I'm remembering correctly. Yeah, Uncharted 4, I recorded it, did a full playthrough. And then I did a full playthrough of Deus Ex Mankind Divided. But the game was so short, and I uploaded, I think, the first and last part of that playthrough. and I didn't upload anything in the middle. So all that's like lost footage. But that game, I had strong opinions about that game. And sometimes I listen to the video back because I think I did a really good job breaking it down. But so that video is on my channel, but I just didn't do a full playthrough. So really, as I was in college and then coming out, like in the videos that I made, it was to, like, the Walking Dead reaction vlogs, it accomplished a couple of things because The Walking Dead was at the height of its popularity, number one. Number two, my friends could get involved. Like, I was making really close friends in college, and some of these people have been in my videos. Like, if you guys watch any of my Walking Dead reaction vlogs, you'll know Jack is one person, Pete is another person. Like, there have been a lot of... I remember for season 6, the second half, my old friend Will from college, we would go to his dorm, and so the second half of season 6, our crazy reaction to, you know, who Negan killed, and you can't see it because it was the first person perspective, if you guys remember that. That was all a way to do group stuff with friends. Like, I didn't have to isolate myself in a bedroom filming a TV with a camera. Like, I could make videos, make some money off of it, and also hang out with friends. Like, I was getting the best of all my worlds, and it was touching all of the bases, and that's why I continued to do the channel in college, and I didn't just stop at cold turkey and say, oh, I can't make a million playthroughs, but, like, I don't think my channel ever really should have been constant playthroughs, you know? I don't think that played to my strength. And I think that's one thing with the channel looking back. I think I didn't play to my strengths as much as I necessarily should have. You know, because I think that, you know, I am good with the public speaking, with, like, the channel has helped that also. If that's another thing that I've gained, it's the ability to talk to a freaking, whether it was a TV or a computer screen, and just voice whatever's on my mind. And if you go back to my first vlog, like, I didn't really have the ability, like I'm mumbling through my words. I'm very cautious. It's almost as if I think the camera's going to talk back to me, right? I almost think, like, you know, like I'm talking to it and I'm like looking up, like, you know, thinking like all of my audience is in it, but they can't talk to me, but, like, I'm projecting myself. So it was weird, but it was also new. Like, I was new to the concept. Like, I couldn't, like, right now, like, I'm in a mode, right? Like, I know that there's people watching. Well, I mean, you know, some at least, but, and so I know that there's an audience feedback that's coming through that, but, like, me, myself in this space, like, I'm by myself. So, like, and this is just, like, what the internet and the online world has done. And people like myself, who are this millennial generation, like we understand, like, we've just grown up with this, and we just, like, understand how this stuff works, right? And one of my friends actually kind of joked and said that our minds have been kind of warped by this online technology. And especially in the year 2020, online technology, everyone in some way, shape, or form has been forced to use it, whether it's for a job, education, just anything, talking to friends and family. Like, I'd say those are the three big ones, but with the crazy virus pandemic that's occurred this year, we all have to basically do what I was doing. It's kind of funny, like, when the pandemic first hit, really when all the stay-at-home orders happened at the end of March and early April, I forget who I joked to, but I did joke to somebody and said, wow, like, you know, everyone has to be stuck inside for all this time. Like, hey, I was doing that back in, you know, high school, back when, you know, I escaped the online world because I didn't think there was any other place for me, right? Like, this was my sanctuary. The problem being is that I kind of moved on, though, from this online digital world. You know, in my postgraduate life and my post-college life, like, I'm tackling other things that I want more. Like, I have to take a hard look and really say, what do I want my future to be? Like, high school and college, I could play the video games. I could film myself making videos because I always had that cushion. The cushion was high school. The cushion was college. Even like a first or second job, like I really didn't have to make like, big decisions. But like now that I'm 26 and I'm like, I'm getting more into my career and I'm trying to make long-term decisions for myself and my life, basically. Like, I'm not going to, like, what Phil is doing, what Darkside Phil is doing at almost age 40, like, that's not ever in a million years going to be me. It's just not. I would be going, like, I don't know how that he does it, personally. I don't. And I don't mean this from an insulting, I don't mean this as an insult at all, but I'm just saying, I don't know how he sits in a room by himself day after day after day. And it's like he was quarantining before it was really a thing, right? If you think about it, he was quarantining before anyone was quarantining because he's in the house almost 24/7 filming himself playing video games, talking, asking for donations. Yeah, he lives with a cat and also a wife whose name's Cat, ironically. And they have that dynamic going on. But it's just such an isolated life. And having lived that for like 2 years, like doing what he did, trying to mock it, like basically trying to copy it for those 2 years, I was like, okay, this has its ups and downs, but there was a big mental drawback. Like there was almost like some mental damage that came from it just because like I was always in a digital space. And the human interaction, like basically I was lagging behind kind of moving in terms of where my human interaction was at, not having a whole hell of a lot of experience, with like girlfriends and just my closest friends came from college, but college for me was kind of what high school should have been. I was playing catch up. My high school wasn't really my high school. Like it was high school in the fact that I did get good grades and I went to a, pretty prestigious, college, postgraduate institution, but I'm talking the social aspect. Like when I got to college, it was a small enough campus where I got to know a lot of people, and those people to this day are my closest friends, and they've been in a lot of my vlogs. So, and I feel like for a good chunk of people, not everyone, but for a lot of people, like, they make, and this could be wrong, but I just base it off of the people that I know, that they make a lot of their close friends, in the that's what it is. In elementary school, you grow up with these people, they become, like, you go through changes in your life with these people. You're on the journey together. So you don't feel like anyone's not on the band, like they're not on the ride with you. Like you all are on this big roller coaster going up. All right. There's 100 seats and there's there's your friends, there's girls you like, there's your parents, there's all these people in your life. You're on the roller coaster, twists and turns, stops, descents, whatever. And you go through the same kind of stuff together, but for me, it was like I was getting off the ride at certain points. Like I was saying, okay, I'm going to step off the ride here. Like you guys keep going on the roller coaster. I'm going to step off here and I'm going to go do some, gaming. I'm going to live in these fantasy worlds, I'm going to live in the fantasy worlds. And after the years, basically, I said to myself, like, I don't want to live in the fantasy worlds anymore. Like, I want to be with other people, like it's what human beings are supposed to do. Like, we're sociable animals. And this technology, this is my phone, this has ruined people. It has. And the thing is, like, I'm cognizant enough to know that this type of technology has ruined people. Ruin them. Like I'm so fearful for a generation that all they know is the technology and they don't know that other aspect. Because see, that's the thing for me. Like I've always been haunted by the fact that my early years never had much to do with this. Like sure, I played video games, but they were games on like the PlayStation 2, the GameCube, the original Xbox, the PlayStation 1, the Atari on the computer. They required, and if there was an online component, it required you to be with other people in a physical sense. In a physical sense. Just a few moments ago, before I came downstairs to make this vlog, I was playing Halo with my brothers, and we were right side by side. And that experience is more potent than if you were just talking to someone through a mic. Now, I'm sure people could debate that, all right? I'm sure they could, all right? And one of my closest friends, Irish Pete, P-Dog, he goes by on YouTube. He was an online friend that I made through the Dark Side Phil community. And we had our ups and downs as friends, but and a lot of that honestly was exasperated by the digital nature, the online nature of the world that was our sandbox of becoming friends. And I think that my perceptions and my mental formings were kind of warped because it was a digital landscape, I'm sure there's psychological studies about it, but it does things to people, man. And I think I was becoming more and more and more aware of that fact. And then the worst possible thing that could have happened this year was a pandemic that put me back in that spot where I had to live that day after day, months. Right now, it just hit midnight, so it's the 28th technically, so it's not even the frickin' 27th when I'm uploading this, so good job on me being a day late. I mean, I did start filming it on the 27th, so I guess that's what counts, but this has been going on since March, April. It's been, in a few months, it'll have been a year. And I know right now there's vaccines, and it seems like there's a light at the end of the tunnel, but it was just, the worst possible thing. To pair me with that, going back. And that's the thing, my job now, it's work from home. I'm not seeing the people that I'm working with. It's back to that digital thing. But it's just in a job. Before on YouTube, it was with, video gamers and online conversations and, talking about how to make vlogs and make money. And now, I'm working a 9-to-5 job and it's all online. It's I haven't, and this is a new job that I started. So I haven't met any of these people. Normally you would interview, you would shake hands, you'd see the office. I haven't done any of that for this position. I haven't. I won't go into it because, it's a little personal, but, it's such a bizarre thing. And, obviously I've never started a job in this fashion before. And it's just, I'm just, and I think that's the thing, I resist. I'm aware that the digital landscape has this effect. And so that's one of the reasons, and I will still do things, and I guess this is kind of the announcement of the channel, because I came prepared with basically what was my YouTube concession speech. Because as you guys have noticed, I haven't uploaded much this year. And I've been on, I just told you I've been isolated inside a lot. Duh, most people have because of this stupid fucking pandemic. But as I just told you, it was a rough year for me, man. It was a really rough year of accepting the state that the world was in. Because I was constantly, going against it. I was clashing, rather than just saying, I'm going to binge watch 100 shows, play all these different video games. I was constantly clashing and saying, no, I'm going to try to, see friends or find a way out of this. And just that wasn't happening because no one was allowed to. And so it just wore on me. This whole year, it feels, and again, I don't mean this as a comparison to actual soldiers and people who are, in the military, but I feel for a lot of people, this year was going to war. I feel this year was going into war, going into battle, and having almost a form of PTSD when you come back. Because a lot of us, I think the pandemic has taken a lot of lives. There's a lot of, some of you might have lost loved ones. You might have gotten this stupid fucking virus. I thankfully have not, but I know some people that have, and it sucks, man. I also know people who lost jobs. I was one of them. I had a pretty cool job that I was working at for 2 years, and because of the pandemic, I lost it in April. And that wasn't something I shared with you guys, but you probably noticed the months after, like, I wasn't uploading much. But it was also compounded by the fact that there wasn't much to talk about, because if you remember, they delayed the season 10 finale of The Walking Dead to October, and there was that entire summer, there was just no Walking Dead content. And then I think, Fear the Walking Dead came out, World Beyond, and, like, I tried to get back into it, but it just didn't feel the same, man. Like, I knew that they weren't going to be able to film later. Then the announcement came that season 11 was going to be the final season. I still don't know when the hell they're making these Rick Grimes movies. Apparently, they said in the spring of 2021 they'll be making the Rick Grimes, like, they'll start filming them. So, 2022, 2023 is to when we'll freaking... I mean, think how many years it's been. They announced those fucking movies in 2018 when Rick went off in the helicopter in season 9. It's been a long time, man. Like, it's just... I'm just tired of waiting. Like I'm sure the story and all that stuff's going to be good, and Andrew Lincoln's one of my favorite actors, and I'd love to see him as Rick again, but, like, it's just been like, people fall out of it. Like, you take a survey of those people who were hyped for it back in 2019, and the more years that go on, you lose interest. And I understand Andrew Lincoln wanted to take a break from acting, but, like, you have to be cognizant of how that's going to affect your long-term strategy, But not to go off on a rant about The Walking Dead. But yeah, back to my comparison. Yeah, I just feel like this year was like going off to a war and then coming back with some real battle scars, and not the physical battle scars. And maybe they would be physical battle scars if maybe you got the virus or something physical happened to you from it. But I'm talking more the mental ones, because it's for me, like, I feel like it's going to take a while to really get back into that. Okay, things are normal again. Like, I'm trying to explore. And, like, that was the main thing I felt that I lost. Like, I was trying to explore and become that person that is more sociable and likes to do things and breaks out of his shell and goes off and has adventures. Like, that was the person I wanted to be. And the pandemic said, nope, I'm going to handcuff you to a radiator, and you're going to freaking, go back to, the days when you were getting harassed in high school and all that. That's what you're going to go back to, for freaking... And I think that the other worst thing is, like, we didn't know how long this was going to last. It was just an endless nightmare. And there was just no end. Finally, obviously, with these two different vaccines, one from Moderna and one from Pfizer, at the moment, there could be other companies that are trying to break through and help out. But right now, those are the two, and a lot of people have already received it. The guy that I did, Jeffrey, the guy that I did the Walking Dead collaboration video with, he actually got it. And so that's pretty cool, because, we collaborated on those Walking Dead vlogs back when the pandemic started, actually. And yeah, I guess he does some COVID volunteering, and so he received it. So that's pretty crazy. I was like, oh, wow, I actually know someone who's received it. And that's going to become more commonplace as time goes on. But, yeah, man, I mean, the channel's meant different things to me. I mean, this was a safe, sociable outlet, met a lot of great people. You could see all this channel art here. I mean, people made this for me. This is like the history of my channel, basically. Like, it started with this, like the one right here. The one at the bottom left. Machinima Network Respawn. Yeah, Machinima. Back in the days of Machinima, right? And then the TheAireaidLord here. I mean, look at that. Let me just superimpose this. I mean, how many games here are old? You've got freaking Link, Metal Snake, you got Connor, Ezio, Altair. There used to be, I mean, guys, it's such a different era. Like, this was back when people made commission off of making YouTube backgrounds. This is before YouTube killed the freaking YouTube background scene. And I had a guy who made this, who made me, and I can't find, there's another one actually. There's another like channel background. I don't know if it's still on my computer, but he made it for me, and I remember I paid him a few bucks for it, and like he would do this for other people, and he was a graphic designer, and he made his money that way, and YouTube freaking removed that feature, which was really stupid. This is the most recent one that I have. Oh, no, wait. No, this is not the most recent one that I have. My current channel background is from Steph on Instagram, the Australian Instagram graphic design wizard, who shall remain nameless. Well, I mean, her name's Steph, but like I did an interview with her, and her face was on the video, but since she's wanted it, kind of, it's an unlisted video now. But I mean, that's another person that I met, and she was super nice, and she made the most recent channel art banner background. She made that one. With all the different, there's Rick, and I think there's Noah Schnapp from freaking Stranger Things, because he looks like a character from a book I wrote. And she did an amazing job. She did a great job. It wasn't too expensive. It was awesome. So yeah, man, I've met a lot of great people. I've made decent money from the channel. This channel basically helped me get my first job. Okay? Because my job right now is in digital advertising. If you guys didn't know, I don't really talk about it that much. My job is in digital advertising. And it's all social media. And it's basically some of the stuff that I did with the YouTube channel, where it's like marketing, but I'm marketing for other businesses, right? Like a client would want to know how to market their business. And so I would have to know the numerical nuances and the lay of the marketplace, some written copy strategy. I would have to know that, right? And so the channel set me down that path, because the internships and the jobs that I got while I was in college, they all started with the channel. My first internship, they hired me because they saw me as like a YouTube influencer, and they wanted to, they were a startup company, and they wanted to know like, oh, what's hip and what's cool and what's this and what's that with this channel. And so that's how it started. That is basically how it started. And so it's led me to the current job that I have now. And so I owe it to that. I don't think that startup would have hired me if I hadn't been doing that type of work. And it was really the only fallback. Like, that helped me also choose my major in college, which then obviously went down the internships and then led to where I am now. So a lot of what I do today comes from the work that I did in the channel. And when you work on anything for 10 years, like, you're going to gain that experience, right? And it's not all this negative outlook. Like, my whole thing about the mental component and the isolated nature and the always online, like, other people might not experience that. Like I was saying, Phil has been doing it for a very long time, more than me, and he seems, knock on wood, he seems okay. But look, I mean, it's not for everyone, but like, I think for me, I was trying to branch out and become a different person. And when that didn't work, I used the online world to fill a gap. But the gap was always there. Like, it was being filled with something, but like the gap was there, right? It's like someone who, drinks in moderation just because they don't want to feel, maybe they go to a job that they hate. And when they get home, they'll drink a little bit, not excessively, but they'll drink just because they want to turn that switch off and not really be thinking about their job. So in a sense, this whole thing with YouTube, in a way, was a way to kind of shut my brain off, because I didn't want to be thinking about, real life stuff that was dragging me down. From a social perspective, like, that wasn't fun, wouldn't be fun for anyone. And so that's how the channel started. But then my hobby is in gaming. So I applied myself. And then when I got into The Walking Dead, I applied myself with that, made those reaction videos, stayed consistent with vlogs. I went to freaking Walker Stalker Atlanta last year and met some of the actors, which was freaking amazing. So I have committed myself to it. And I did it through high school, through college, and now through multiple jobs that I've held since college. And it has been a wild freaking ride. And all along in the background, I've been doing this other passion project of mine, which I don't talk a lot about, which is the fact that I'm a writer. Some people back in the early days of my channel, if any of you still exist, will remember that I sold a self-published book called The Orb in person at conventions with Phil. I had a website at one point you could buy it, but the website's gone now. It was just an experiment. For me, it was a story. It was like a fun sci-fi story. I wanted friends and family to take a look at it. And I just wanted to see what people thought of my writing. Now, looking back on it, if you compare it to what I'm writing now, it's night and day. But that just, you get better as a writer. Any writer will tell you the way to get better is to read, to write, to edit, to revise, fully submerging yourself in the world as much as possible. Self-help books, fine-tune your craft, right? Like if you're a football player, quarterback, what do you do to get better? You practice, you throw the football, you get in the elements. Like that's the way it goes. So, I do writing in the background, and I've been working on a new project, and I basically started it when the pandemic started, and it's almost finished. So if you wanted to know, where did a lot of my effort go in the background if I wasn't making videos very consistently, that's where it went. Because I started to see my passions, I would rather spend an evening working on this plot with these fictional characters, because that's ultimately what I want to do for, that's the career I want to have. I want to be a full-time author who writes multiple book series. Maybe I, jump into script writing and writers' rooms, like a Vince Gilligan style Breaking Bad kind of, Los Angeles entertainment industry kind of thing. I've always had that as the vision, the vision of kind of of what I've wanted to do. And for the YouTube channel, that's a way of projecting yourself and who you are and what you want to do kind of as a person. And so there was always a way that, I could do both, but I towed the line, right? I didn't focus on a writing concentration in college. I had it as a minor, but it was always something I've done privately. I don't share much of my writing. There's only a few people that really read it. The self-published book was a very brief glimpse, but it was, novice writing, a very, the story, the plot and the story was, the world of the story was fun, but I don't think I executed it well enough. But again, you get better with experience, so I don't want to beat up on myself too much. But writing has kind of shifted my focus right now. Okay. When I'm not working, I'm trying to, I have one project that's just about done. And so, I'm going to be exploring that next year and moving on to other stuff. I already have in my head, other works and things that I want to write, whether it's a sequel to the thing I have now, or it's other story worlds that really push and challenge me as a writer, cause we've really this year have had to dig at who we are as people. And so I've had to ask myself, what do I want? It's like the beginning of the GTA 5 trailer where the therapist is like, what do you want, Michael? And he's like, oh, I don't know. And so, it's a loaded question. And so, and trying to answer that when the world is so, shattered by what the hell happened this year, it makes it even more difficult, because I'm trying to deal with my own interpretations of things, my own careers and ambitions, and the world is in this very odd state, and trying to make heads or tails of it is a freaking game on a day-to-day basis. And so that it makes it even more difficult, So, went through a lot of history here. I guess I'll conclude with what the future is going to be. I don't know. I don't know if this is going to be my last vlog on this channel. I honestly don't know. I was thinking about it. I was thinking about saying, like, this is it. Like, hanging up the cleats just because like, looking back, I think I uploaded maybe 15 videos this year, maybe. I tried to, and it's funny, if you guys saw in June, I tried to start a playthrough of Assassin's Creed Brotherhood to almost do the 10-year anniversary, do a playthrough, kind of have that whole thing on my channel and kind of do like a retro throwback. But I got into doing it. I was like, you know what? This isn't really, like, I started doing it and I was just like, I don't know. Like, I kind of lost interest midway through. Like, it just feels weird. Like, when I go and record myself playing video games, like, it's this weird feeling inside, you know? Like, I'm just like, oh, this is kind of strange. Like, because I feel like I'm a kid again. You know, I'm a kid again in my room filming the video game footage. Like, that's what I feel like. So I don't know. Like, there's still things with The Walking Dead I want to talk to you guys about. Season 11 being the last season, like, I feel like I gotta stick it out to the end, you know? They've only got this one last season with the Commonwealth. Fear the Walking Dead Season 6, I hear, is actually pretty freaking good. Go figure. World Beyond, I've seen mixed reviews. And then the movies, the Rick Grimes movies. Like, at this point, my channel just loosely hangs on to The Walking Dead. But the thing is, like, I check the viewership. And again, part of this is my fault because I don't upload consistently enough. But, you know, when I upload a vlog, you know, I don't, you know, it gets a handful of views. Like, it's like, is the audience even there? Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, is anyone, basically, to put it bluntly, is anyone even watching my footage at this point? You know, I know, like, people residually see it in their sub box, and there's some, I recognize a few Walking Dead fans, and then there's some people on Twitter that I've known from, like, way back from the gaming community and, like, different places, and they'll check on my footage and kind of see what I'm doing and what I'm up to. But, like, beyond that, like, it's just, like, I haven't been trying to appeal and build an audience. I just haven't. So me not putting that effort in, like, it's gonna, I mean, you get what you put in, right? I haven't been putting a lot of time into building the channel, so I shouldn't assume for thousands of people to suddenly be watching my content. So if you have an opinion at all, let me know. I guess for this vlog, I won't be uploading content as consistently as I was. That's, I guess, what I'm going to kind of declare. And it's something, again, you guys have noticed. Like, most people, I mean, I've seen other YouTubers who don't even make videos like this. They just vanish. One day, they're just gone from the YouTube channel. And for me, like, I wouldn't want to just abandon you guys without kind of telling you where my head is at. And that's what the beginning of this vlog was, to say, here's why I made the channel. Here's what it did, and here's where I'm at now. You know, it's almost like that meme, like, how it started, how it's going now. Like, it's kind of like that. And now we have a full 10-year span to really look at. And now I'm going to say to myself, like, what do I want the next 10 years to be? Like, for me, that's publishing one of my books. That's, you know, forming a larger circle of friends, especially doing more volunteer stuff. I mean, you know, just seeing how people were affected this year. You know, there's a lot of people that need help. And, you know, like, just, you know, not to get into specifics of what I would do volunteering, but there's always a way you can kind of help people and stuff, just to, again, get that in-person community and kind of just branch out and be kind of like a part of something greater. And I know streamers have done this, where they, like, raise tips for donations and stuff if they're trying to donate to a fund or a cancer institution. Like, there's great ways that people do it online, you know? But yeah, I mean, for me, it's staying true to myself regardless. Like, whatever, you know, like, if I, you know, want to take on a new job, new career, new adventure, like, whatever I move into, it's about staying true to myself regardless, you know? And I think I've evolved and matured, but I've more or less stayed true to myself. You know, if you look at my footage from 10 years ago and how I carried myself. I was adapting to this digital environment and trying to understand it kind of brick by brick. And I understand it pretty damn well. And, I think I want to explore other things, but I will always, if I feel the itch to make a vlog, or if there's something with The Walking Dead, I'm just like, man, I want to make a vlog about that. I will jump on this channel and you will see the video in your subscription box. I can promise you that right now. But I can't make a promise for consistent footage. I just can't. I'm going to be watching the new additions to season 10, the bonus episodes for The Walking Dead. I'll be watching those. I will be. And so, do I make reaction videos? Because here's the thing, the reaction videos, it's not because I want to make the reaction videos. Again, in the past, it was always a cash cow to just make money because people usually wanted to see the full episode and they would come to my video, and so that would usually happen. So, yeah. So that's, I stopped doing the reaction videos, if you guys remember. Then The Walking Dead got good again, so I started doing them again. But I think I'm going to go back to not doing the reaction videos anymore because it's just, for me, it's disingenuous content. I'm trying to be a content creator of my own works. That is an idea that I thought of in my own head. And here I am, rebroadcasting the freaking Walking Dead with, the little video screen that's in the upper right-hand corner, the corner over here. So I'm just like, listen, this was a, way to trick the system and make some money through YouTube CPM. But, I don't know if I really, I still make money on it to this day because, all those videos are still uploaded if they haven't been flagged for copyright. So, to this day, I'm not with Machinima anymore because they freaking went under, but it's the basic YouTube partnership, and, they still throw me some money every now and then, But it's all the legacy videos, because I have so many videos, they all have ads, and so people could go back. I get comments on, random tutorial videos and, all sorts. And so, yeah, man, that is the 10-year vlog, and I don't know how long we've been going, almost an hour, because I've been recording this. I'm using my phone to record this because I didn't bring a microphone with me, and I realized it kind of last minute. Yawn. Probably means I should go to bed. This has been fun. I hope you guys, this is different for you guys to get more of a personalized look into who I am, because I usually try to keep a lot of personal things separate from the channel, but I made the channel for a personal reason. There's personal things that I embedded into this channel, and to say that it's something else is just, I would be fooling myself. I'm not fooling you, I'd be fooling myself. So I just wanted to kind of be honest with that, a very honest, no bullshit look back at the 10 years. Because I've made vlogs like this, these anniversary vlogs, my 5-year anniversary and my 6-year and 7-year anniversary. I've made these style vlogs before, and it's funny to go back and my perspective is always different. I talk about more or less the same thing about, where the influence, the people that I watched and the communities I was in and the footage and stuff, gaming, Walking Dead. I talk about the same things, but obviously now, this vlog is totally unique because it's based on, it's coming at the end of a year that's been very tumultuous for a lot of people. So I think it comes with a different spin, a different outlook. And so I think that's cool, and I think that's interesting, and you guys can maybe relate to some of the same things because we've all been through this. It's not like before where a tragedy, would happen in your neighborhood or your city or your country. This is everyone. This is people in foreign countries. This is the whole freaking world. And it's something we all will say that we dealt with. And the online component comes into it. And so it's like, oh, I've had this channel for 10 years and I made it for reasons to be in that mode of always isolated online interactions, but it was for different reasons. Now people are doing it to stay safe from a pandemic. Before, it was to grasp at some, sociability. So it's an interesting perspective, and I wanted to kind of give you guys that as a 10-year kind of celebration of sorts. The only other idea I had was to watch back the video that I made of the tutorial and kind of like play it and have you guys listen along to it. That might be cool. I might do that maybe for like New Year's Eve. So I'm saying this is my last vlog, but I just thought of an idea to do. So, but what I'm saying is like, I'm not like promising uploads anymore. Like I might upload sporadically here and there, but like I won't really, I'm not making a commitment to really like, build anything, grow anything, I will want to have my own audience, like once I become an author and I have like book series and characters, but that would probably go under new websites, new copyright, new YouTube channels. Like it wouldn't be tied to my Air Lord name. And even so, the Air Lord is the villain of that orb book I was telling you guys about. His full name is Lord Augustine. Like that's where my very bizarre sounding spelling name, that's where it comes from. So yeah, and it was just random mash of letters that I kind of formed, and it's a villain in my friggin' book. So that's where the name comes from, and this is all art that people have made over the years. I did not make any of this art. I forget the names of some of the people who made this, but they sure as shit made it for me. Whew. Okay. Well, this vlog has gone on for almost an hour. So if you have been staying with me this whole time, I applaud you. Thank you very much. I contemplated putting this on like my personal Facebook, but like those are like personal people I know, so I don't think it would make sense, but we'll see. I don't know. I mean, but like my personal like they wouldn't understand the digital component of it. If you get my like, it's so different. Like I feel like there would be a lot to kind of grasp, or maybe not. Again, maybe this year has exposed everyone to doing stuff online 24/7. So perhaps it's not such a wild concept, jump on and be like, oh yeah, he freaking did online stuff and it was successful, more or less. And so cool. So, all right, guys, this was cool. 10 I can't believe I made that fucking channel 10 years ago, and I amassed 12,000 subscribers and millions of people, views, all sorts of stuff, you name it. It's incredible. Thank you guys so much. I will, if I was to put all my money, will I upload again? I'd say yes. I mean, I already promised you guys I would make the freaking retro look back where I look at my tutorial. I would pause the video and talk about it. So I already promised that. So I will be doing that. So this isn't the last vlog. It's just saying that I'm not going to be doing things consistently with the channel, The vlogs will come and go, I'm going to stop the reaction videos with The Walking Dead, but I might review it. I might give my opinions. Like, for example, the PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X horseshit situation with people buying all those consoles up. I made a vlog about that. And if it's a topic I'm passionate about, I'll make a vlog about it. So that's an example. So this is random vlog Air Lord from here on out. Not really promising anything in the way of gameplay in The Walking Dead, but if you see it, go ahead and watch it. So, all right, guys. My name is Chris. That's my real name. Appreciate you guys watching. Really do. Yeah, it's been cool. I've made some of my closest friends, had great experiences, and I wouldn't, like if you could, like, would you go back? Like sometimes in moments of rage, I would be like, oh, I would go back and live a normal high school life where I was playing all these sports and I was in clubs and this and that. But, for a lot of those people that I went to high school with, those memories are fleeting, A lot of them didn't turn into those star athletes. But me, I was doing the YouTube channel in high school, and I'm still doing the YouTube channel right now. Isn't that crazy? So, I technically outlasted them in a way, and I'm able to still make money doing it. And I've made some pretty cool friends from this whole freaking thing. So I would say, in the words of Michael Scott from The Office, that's a win-win-win. So, all right. Thank you guys. You've been great. Whoever you are, if you're from freaking, I know some people from the Dark Side Phil community will probably come over because a lot of people know me from the holy shit. I can't speak. I'm starting to go crazy. A lot of people know me from the Dark Side Phil community, and a lot of them, to this day, want to know what my opinions of Dark Side Phil are, and I keep telling them that I don't watch his content anymore. So how could I have an opinion of someone who I don't keep in touch with anymore? Okay. That's the short answer. So if there was anyone here who was like, hey, TheAireaidLord, what's your opinion of Dark Side Phil? I don't really follow him. I know that he's still doing his live streaming thing, but that's about it. I just don't keep in touch with him. He doesn't make I still have his phone number in here. If he made the effort, I'd shoot him a text every now and then, but he just really doesn't. So, it's fleeting. Like, maybe we'll exchange, a text a year, but that's it. And I don't ask him about his YouTube stuff. It's always just, random frivolous stuff. So, if that's the burning question, because I feel like so many people ask that. What's your opinion of Dark Side Phil? What is it? Is he this or is he that? It's really... the state of somebody who plays video games at almost the age of 40 is not really the most important thing in the world to me right now. So, just being completely honest, all right? He was a friend that I had in those early years. I copied the early stage of my YouTube channel off of him, and it was something that kept me mentally grounded when I freaking despised my high school, all right? And you could say that I started the YouTube channel because of him, all right? One could say that, but I took the direction of it, and I'm the one who continued it, and, he was a part of some of that, but, that is the story there, okay? So, peace out, guys. Thank you very much. I genuinely mean that. Thank you. Peace out.